What's your reaction when somebody invites you to go into the wilderness? What's your reaction to the word wilderness? Depending on who you are and where you've been and what your life experiences are, the wilderness can be a wonderful, beautiful place that pops into mind, someplace full of wonderful scenery and nature, or it can represent perhaps what you're most afraid of. It's a word that has meanings and context depending on who we are. For some, the wilderness is formed and conjures up visions of horror. For some, it conjures up visions of comfort. The wilderness is one of the themes of Lent. The wilderness has been a place where many spiritual traditions have invited disciples, searchers to go, to do many things, to confront fears, to find silence, to find themselves. There's a closely related word that I like to remember when I think of wilderness. The word is bewilder, really an old word that comes from literally being taken to or thrown into the wilderness. It's a different experience than entering through choice, because being in a wild place can be a different experience if you have everything you need from an experience where you don't have what you need. If you have shelter, if you have food, if you have water, if you have friends, if you have a map, if you have a compass, if you know where you're going, and above all, if you know how to get away, then the wilderness can be a great place. But if you discover yourself in a wild place and don't have the things you need and don't know where you're going, it can be truly scary. For some, a wilderness looks like this. For some, it looks like this. For some, the wilderness looks like this. For some, the wilderness looks like this. We all have our own place where we might suddenly find ourselves bewildered, without bearings, without any reference. It can be a place. It can be a normal circumstance that changes, a relationship. We can be bewildered through a diagnosis, through a disease, through an economic shift. We can be taken to the place of being bewildered by many things in life. And most of us will. Most of us will come to a place where things don't seem to make sense anymore. And I think that's probably the most fruitful, the most beneficial place. If we notice that we're bewildered, if we notice that things don't make sense anymore, if we notice that things need to change, then we've started to chart a new path. A course that can take us out of the wilderness and into a new and safe place. Only if we're willing to notice. As we walk through Lent, I invite you to take stock, to notice those small and bewildering questions, the things that don't make sense, and to ponder them, and to commit to finding a way out of bewilderness, out of bewilderment, back to a place of safety and comfort that might be different, but one that will no longer be bewildering.